Dude, I'm happy. I'm happy that you're on. It's been forever that we've been trying to make this happen, and I know that you've been busy, and I'm glad to see you. I'm glad that you're doing well, and I'm glad that you're finally here.
But thanks for having me, bro. It's been a while. It's been a long time.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. Tell me, just before we just before we went on, we were talking about the decision to move out of Montreal. How does that happen? Like, how do you just decide, screw this, we're out?
Yeah. Hey, it's I always thought I would live in Montreal forever.
Yeah.
Like I always thought when I was like in my early 20s, I was like, this is it. And I really was very ambitious. And I was like in the um, event business and restaurants and bars and fashion. And I was like, this is my city, like
Yeah, yeah.
I really had that feeling that Montreal was going to be where I was going to stay forever. And I guess I started traveling quite early in life. But I guess my first trip to Spain, when I stepped foot in Spain, I think it was in 2003, 2004. First time. I'd never been there. All my parents are from there. My ancestors are my family there, everything. And I remember stepping foot on the tarmac at the airport because we would come out of the plane. I don't know.
Yeah.
We took like a little plane and I stepped foot on the tarmac and I felt something like a vibration. And for the first time in my life, I was like, oh, maybe home is not, strictly Montreal.
Yeah.
This is when, that it cracked the surface. And from there, I started realizing that I could probably live somewhere else. But I'm still very attached to Quebec. I'm very attached to Montreal. I mean, it's been hard to love Montreal in the last couple of months,
I agree.
And it's easy. A lot of people are throwing stones and stuff at Montreal and the administration. Come on, guys. I mean, it's a really hard period. It's probably one of the worst times to be administrating a city like Montreal. So it's very, very easy to cast stones. I'm not saying I'm behind Valérie Plante and her administration 100%. I think they're doing really what they can right now. I don't think people are fair, man, about a lot of people are asking for her to resign and they're criticizing the administration like big time. And I think it's unfair. Anyways, that's not the question. But like lately, Montreal has been a big mess. The construction, this and that, the bike pathways, it's been messy. But that's not the reason why we left Montreal. It's something that I started planning 3 years ago when I started, traveling more to Central America and really planning that project that we have over there in El Salvador. And I guess I needed more nature, more calm, more peace. And Montreal is very exciting. There's some areas that are more peaceful, but in general, it's a bit hectic. And it's not Montreal. It would be the same if I lived in New York or in any big cities. I wanted more calm and peace. Yeah. This is the reason why, we started thinking about, moving out of the city. So when my girlfriend got sick and she had her operation, this is really when it started, being an actual concrete plan. We wanted to get out of the city, to be closer to nature, to live more calm and peace.
How is she doing, by the way? And you recently came out publicly about her health challenge, that she's facing. She's undergoing some cancer treatments. It takes a lot of courage, man, to put your personal lives out there for everyone to know. Why was that important for you? Why take that step there?
It's a good question, but she's doing fine. She's stable. It's going to be a year next week that she had her operation.
Yeah,
and she's doing well. When she got out of chemotherapy, we were so excited, and we thought it was over.
Yeah.
And I guess we needed that. It was like in the middle of the pandemics, and we needed good news, So the chemo ended, and we went we were like, okay, that's it. Things are gonna get better from here. But she's on 2 other treatments for 2 years, and there's side effects, and it changes a lot of things. And now we kind of got back to a more realistic approach. to her health and condition. But man, we're lucky. We have support from the family, and we are very privileged. I feel I was always very privileged, like healthcare and all these things. Man, it's really amazing. And so in amidst that whole challenge, we have a lot of comfort in a way. I speak for myself, but I think she would say the same thing. So we're very privileged, and we have she's receiving some amazing care at CHUM, and it's really amazing. So she's doing well, and the reason why I came out, is that this event for me was a game changer. And there's a lot of decisions that I had been making. I had been putting a lot of stuff in place to make a lot of changes in my life in the last couple of years. All that showbiz and jet set type of lifestyle. I have nothing against it. I've lived it 1,000%. To me, it was over. It was getting really old, and I was aspiring to more and less at the same time. You know what I mean? I was aspiring to less, a more simple life. And when she got sick, I was like, this is it. This is the beginning of a new life. And for me to announce it publicly was a form of engagement.
Yeah.
And it's not like I wanted to do this in order to score more TV. No, that was the opposite. Like I was literally telling the world, listen, my life has changed a lot now, and I'm going to focus on that. And I guess when you've been a public figure for so long, I think you owe it to people that have been supporting you forever. The reason why we're on TV, we have shows, we have this, we have that, is that people watch our shows.
Yeah.
Right? So for a couple of weeks, we thought of not mentioning it, and then I was like, it's going to get so complicated because you have treatments. First, I just announced it to my family and my business partners.
Yeah.
Because I was like, they need to know.
Yeah.
You need to know that I'm going to cancel meetings at the last second, and I don't want to get into like I didn't want it to be confused, the situation more than it already was. So I decided to tell them. Then we told the family, of course. And then I was like, well, let's just be honest and transparent with everyone. And we received a lot of media attention. I didn't expect that. And it was at some points a bit uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It's not like it's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Because it's something you want to keep it a bit discreet, but it didn't happen that way.
Yeah.
But I'm happy we did it, and it cleared a lot of things. And also, I realized that it touched a lot of people. And then I've had so many conversations with people from the people that I don't know personally, but that watch our shows or that have been following me in the last couple of years. And amazing people. And it's really helped me be a lot more vulnerable, and I guess just to appreciate and realize the privileges of being healthy and what real life is about. You realize there's a lot of sick people out there.
Yeah.
Like 1 out of 2 Canadians are going to get cancer in their life. So
yeah.
When you're always surrounded by people that are healthy and successful and this and that, it's not real life, man. It's like a bubble that you live in. And I'm happy I'm experiencing more like real life now. It's like, this is it.
Good. I'm happy for you, man. I'm happy that that you found a comfort and that you're good in it. Because we're discussing a little bit about it before we went on air, about how we live in this bubble and we think that is normal, and then we only realize how ridiculous it is once you come out, and you look back and you're like, well, what the hell was I involved in, right? And it's not to bash anything in the past or to downplay it or anything like that. It's just that you realize that there's certain elements of your life that maybe could have been better and they weren't, right? And at least you're out, right? And you realize it, and you can take the necessary steps to kind of make yourself and your life and your life better. Look, I'm glad you're out of Montreal because now by default I got to support the South Shore.
But not having to cross the bridge, like there's a lot less traffic and construction around here. Like we're in Montérégie East, so it's more, we're more in the country.
Yeah.
I love it, man. Like I love it. I don't think I could come back to Montreal anytime soon. I love it too much. It's so quiet. Um, but you mentioned something about like it's almost like a new normal. What changed a lot for me is I really questioned my quest. Like what was I chasing?
Yeah.
And I lost sight of what I was chasing at one point, and I was really involved in the lifestyle. And eventually I started being very, very unhappy. A couple of years ago, like 5 years ago, I was so unhappy. And then you look at your life, you're like, you got everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, successful business, successful career, healthy. I mean, what can go wrong? But that's not it, man. Just to me, that was not it. It was not my quest was just it was so empty at one
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
It's like chasing excitement, chasing consumption in a way also. Going to restaurants, doing this, doing that. At one point to me, that meant nothing anymore.
Yeah.
So, but I was so involved in the lifestyle that I lost sight of the objective. And the objective at one point I had to sit down and just realize that it was not my life's objectives anymore.
Yeah.
And I had to make new ones, and I had to go dig deeper and go back to the basics and go back to the roots. And just I went through my whole life since like childhood, and there's a lot of great information that came out of that process.
Yeah.
And I kind of reconnected with the younger me, and it helped me a lot, like in redirecting my life and making new decisions that I really don't regret.
Yeah. It's amazing what you're saying because, I feel like that, the older that we're getting and the more responsibilities that we have, married, kids, mortgages, all these responsibilities, we're much more reluctant to change path, right? To change course because it's like you're afraid of whatever you do may not work out. And then you have all these responsibilities resting on your shoulders that it might actually be the wrong move, right? So, I'm amazed by people that actually, make this 180 degrees and just, reorient themselves. And because at the end of the day, we tend to neglect our health, not only physically, but mentally as well, right? And
Mm-hmm.
everything adds up. And, I'm glad to see that you're making these changes, man. Honestly, and if you're happy and you're good where you are, man, good on you, man. Good on you.
And you mentioned something important, George. Like, I don't have kids.
Yeah,
And when you have like one, two, three kids, and you're 40 years old, and you realize that you're not exactly on your path,
it's so hard, man.
it's so hard. A lot of people did it, man, and I find it hard sometimes and I'm still in this transition. It's going well, but I find it's a lot easier because I don't have kids. I don't have the responsibility of little human beings.
Yeah,
That's something, man.
yeah.
It's and that's why you see all these people that are speakers and stuff and tell you about motivation, about like, like, hey, bro, like it's easy to say when you're 27 years old and like you're in the middle of building your career. It's easy to say these things, but when you're involved with a family, it requires a lot more work
Oh
and a
no,
lot more courage, man.
yeah, it definitely changes your perspective and your sense of responsibility. And I understand what you're saying, that you're like some people may feel like that they're stuck because stuck not in the sense of you're not free to do what you want, but stuck in the sense that you have people to look after now. You no choice, right? But I'll tell you at the same time, having kids also is this huge source of inspiration.
Hmm.
It kind of pushes you and it motivates you to actually do better and to actually seek something that perhaps you were blind to in the past, or you know what I mean, because of the fact that now you have these people to support and it's not just about you anymore, right? So I've
Hmm.
seen the other side as well, where you're like, you know what, this is what's important now, and what do we do, like how do we go forward now to build more and to be better, even as people and as entrepreneurs and as businessmen, whatever it is, so they could also have that effect. So maybe you can look into that one.
Well, in our case, it's not going to happen,
No,
because of obviously my girlfriend's situation. So, but it's something we did talk about when she had her operation, because it was a big issue.
yeah,
And a lot of women is when they have like ovarian cancer, some women really, really want kids, and they're going to delay the operation sometimes to try to save one of the ovaries to perhaps have kids later.
yeah,
And it's very risky, and it's most of the time ovarian cancer, when it's detected, it's already an advanced stage.
right.
So we already had this conversation with my girlfriend where we were like, maybe one day, we'll have kids, but not now.
Yeah,
So it was not a definite no.
yeah,
But when that happened, we did have the conversation, and she was like, I really want to live, and I don't think I want kids bad enough to risk my health and risk getting in like phase 4 cancer,
yeah, yeah.
because that's what we were facing. And we're like, you know what? Adoption is one thing. My sister adopted.
Yeah.
One of my nephews is adopted from China. He's amazing. So,
Yeah.
so then and I have a lot of friends that adopted kids. There's a lot of kids out there that need love and support, and there's
Exactly.
a lot, bro. So,
yeah.
So right now it's out of the question, because we're still
Yeah, you're
trying to get our heads out of the water. But yeah, why not? And I think adoption right now, it's not a good context, but adoption is getting more organized, and it's easier. You know what I mean? It's never easy, but it's because it's more organized. There's ways to adopt kids, and it's an option.
Yeah.
It's an option. I like the idea of giving a child that has maybe born in more difficult circumstances, and saying, hey man, we're going to give you a shot, so
Right.
I kind of like that too.
Yeah. For people that don't know you, who've probably been living under a rock, let me see if I can do you justice. So obviously you're known as a model, actor, TV and radio personality. You're a businessman and entrepreneur, but you're also an amazing humanitarian and philanthropist, having associated yourself with so many exceptional causes. It's quite an impressive track record, for a young guy like yourself. Was this always like, how does all this start for you? I mean, was the objective always to end up in fashion, to be a model? Is that what you always had in mind, or it just happened like that?
No, it was never the plan. And I like your description. I think it's over the top. And I appreciate it, but I don't see myself as a businessman. I'm a terrible businessman. I'm an entrepreneur. I have a lot of ideas.
Yeah.
And what I realized through time is that I surround myself with people that are going to help me take those visions and make them, concrétiser. I don't know how to say it in English.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm good at? I'm very curious, and I've always been very willing to experiment.
Yeah.
And this is what, and it put me in a lot of trouble, and now I'm trying to tame the beast, and I'm trying to very, very disciplined, and I'm trying to, be as organized as I can, because in the past that will to discover and experiment has put me in a lot of different kinds of trouble.
Yeah.
So I guess you live and learn, but modeling was never a dream of mine. Never. Because I was studying arts.
Yeah. Go ahead.
In CEGEP, and I've always been into martial arts as well. Like fight sports was my big thing, and still today I still fight. And I was doing a lot of drawing, and that was my thing, man. I was living in this fantasy world in a way, and eventually I got discovered, and I was offered to do this one show, and then it blew.
Well, it blew big time. I mean, you became the poster boy for Jean-Paul Gaultier's perfume.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's
but you know what?
Awesome. Yeah.
I never liked fashion as a kid, as a teenager. I like style, I guess. I like, uh, but fashion was never a thing, and being a model was never an objective of mine. But
Yeah.
then you realize it took like in the span of a year, I realized what the opportunity that was presented to me was becoming.
Yeah.
And it was getting pretty big. Like you have those agencies from Paris coming and say, we want to represent you in Paris, Milan, and all these things. And then I'm like, and that happened quite quick, eh?
Yeah.
From the moment I did my first show was in 1999 to early 2000. It's not even, it's a little bit more than a year.
Yeah.
Next thing I know, I'm in Paris. Next thing I know, I'm in Milan. I was working hard, but I took those opportunities. But those opportunities were presented to me. And this is when I decided that I was going to give it a shot. Because to be honest with you, George, I didn't know what being a model was about. I didn't really understand what it was.
Yeah.
To me, a model was like a wooden thing at the store that you put clothes on. It was like a mannequin. What is that? So yeah, but I seized the opportunity, and then I realized that I had to play the game. I had to build a character, and this is what I did, and I was always very, very interested in acting when I was young. I remember like watching all those making ofs of actors working on sets. I was always fascinated by that. That and voice was always a thing. Like I took a lot of singing lessons when I was younger. And working with my voice was also a dream. So eventually I did, but yeah, the modeling thing, man, it was funky. It was very, very funky. I mean, there's a lot of stuff I can't even talk about. It was so funky. It was like, wow.
Look, let me tell you something. There's only, honestly, I'm so disconnected from that world. Always was, and probably always will be. But there was one experience that I had. This is back in, I don't know, 2008, 2009. At some point, the government came out with this this economic plan to help stimulate the businesses that were in the manufacturing industry, right? And the owner of the building where we had our office had a factory. It was a factory, so he had a lot of connections. He had a lot of people. And at some point, he brings over to our office some guys that they were the owners of this pretty important brand over here, a pretty important manufacturer here in Quebec, and they wanted to participate in this program. They wanted help, so we kind of guided them and everything. So we kind of got close. And then it was Montreal Fashion Week, and they gave us passes. They go, come over, we're going to be doing the runway or whatever. We're like, okay, whatever, we'll do it, So I'm there with my boss, and we got there early. So the guy goes to us, just chill, in the behind the scenes or backstage, I don't know, wherever it was. And, I'll come get you when the fashion show begins. So we go in the back. Francisco, honestly, I don't know if I was mesmerized. I don't know if I was lost. I don't know if these people were living a normal life and I wasn't. There was like this clear disconnect, and we're just there. And I swear to God, with my boss, for like the whole 30 or 40 minutes that it took for us, for the show to start, we didn't speak to each other. We were just there staring. We're like, there's absolutely nobody that we can connect with, nobody we can speak to. You had, the makeup people, you had models, you had the people that would dress them. Like it wasn't chaotic. It was just people chilling, and it was like, what is going on right now? Like, what is this world? It's like you open the secret passage and you threw us in there, and you're like, here. And we were like, we came out of there, and I go, dude, we didn't even talk to you. Like 40 minutes, we were just like looking around us, thinking, where are we? And it was this crazy.
It's a parallel universe, man. It really is. It really is, and I don't regret any of it, to be honest. Like I did it for a long time, and it's allowed me to experience some amazing things, some really fucked up stuff too. Yeah. Like stuff that I'm like, even with a distance, I'm like, well, this is not normal, man. Like a lot of this stuff is not normal, but fashion, like international fashion, is not normal. It's a parallel universe.
Yeah.
So but to be honest, at one point, I kind of got lost in that, like that. It's like a rabbit hole, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Then you live in that parallel universe, and you forget what the world is really about, and eventually it hit hard, man. Because at the end, really at the height of my modeling career, I opened my first bar called La Porte Rouge.
yeah. That's where we met.
And man, did we party over there? And it was really booming. That place was
Yeah.
the place to be for like 2-3 years. It was like the place to be in Montreal. So I go from like, and at that point I'm still doing stage, and I'm still like my TV career started, and I do a lot of big events, and I do a lot of stage work. So I'm always on this high, right? And then I opened this bar, and I thought that it couldn't top like my international modeling experience. But when you own like a very, very successful joint, and there's like a huge lineup at the door every night, it gets to your head, man.
Yeah.
And it gives you that high that I think I didn't think it was going to be surpassed, that I had in modeling, and like walking on those big catwalks in front of like hundreds of cameras. Like it's really exciting. So, and then the whole bar thing started, and I have to admit, man, like 10 years ago, waking up one morning and just being like, where am I? Like, what is this? What am I doing with my life?
Yeah.
And I think this is when all these thoughts start, emerging and slowly, making their way through my entire being. And like, I don't regret these years, but I would never go back to that. Never, ever.
Are you talking about modeling now or the bar?
Just the whole
thing.
Exciting, being out there lifestyle is just too much, man.
But at some point, I mean, look, it helped kind of transition you from where you were to where you are, and probably where you're going to end up, right? I mean, like the transition from becoming a model to an entrepreneur, and then beginning a career on TV and on radio. How does all that come in? Like, where's the connection? I mean, obviously you have contacts. I mean, is this something that runs through your mind to think that this is what I want? Who do I reach out to, and let's make it happen? Or how does this whole transition happen for you?
Well, communication was always a thing that I really enjoyed, and I was always fascinated by psychology, and I still am today.
Yeah.
So I saw these opportunities as vehicles to get to a higher ground, to a place where I was going to be able to, grow and live my life and become someone. But to be quite honest, George, all these periods of my life made me a bit lazy.
Yeah.
And in the way that you get to this point where everything is kind of given to you, and it's not normal. When you work as a model, even the bar, we did work hard. The first couple of months was super hard, and the lifestyle is not easy because you go to bed late, but you have no kids, you're healthy, you're 26, 27, 30 years old. It's not that hard, like it takes your body takes a toll, but it's not that hard. So I was in in that tunnel where everything was going really fast and relatively easy. And I lost sight of the fact that it was not going to last forever. I lost sight of the fact that, my real objectives were before that, what I wanted to be, the person I wanted to become. And I kind of lost sight of that. And I got lost in that whole like easy, fast living, and it took a lot of work to retransition from like a normal life.
Yeah.
To me, that was very, very hard to live just a normal life, waking up early. Thank God I was always very disciplined in terms of training. But I mean, even back in my worst days, I would train every day.
Yeah.
But I would wake up at 12, and I would train hard, but at 3-4 in the afternoon. Now, 3-4 in the afternoon is my second training of the day.
Wow.
It's very, very different. So the transition, like the coming back to real life, was really hard, and it was a lot of realizations. Like it's like there's a lot of layers that fall,
Yeah.
and then you're like, what was I doing over there? And you feel a bit ashamed. At one point I was a bit ashamed. It's like, okay, I thought this was life, and I thought I'd made it.
Yeah.
And then it's like you walk back, you take the way back, and you're like, and then everybody's you feel everyone's looking at you and say, I told you, I knew you were gonna fail. And it's a good fail. Like I'm glad I failed at that lifestyle, and I'm glad I had the courage to go back.
Yeah.
And I'm happy where I am today. My objectives today are so different. Like what I want for life is so different, but I still want to be able to contribute more than ever. You talk about philanthropy. I mean, philanthropy, for example, Saint Justin, I try to give as much time as I can, but it's still not, it's nothing compared to the time that a lot of people are putting in that foundation.
Yeah.
And I wish I could do a lot more, but big foundations like that, there's a lot of people involved. And I start working with a new foundation, and I'm still going to work with Saint Justin for sure. I mean, I have Saint Justin tattooed on my heart, but I wanted to be involved like more deeply with the foundation, and we're going to make an announcement after Christmas. But it's something I really, really hold very dear.
Okay, nice, man. I look forward to that. I remember this is a while ago, and this is just to go back to that lifestyle that you had. I was still living at home with my parents, and I'm flipping through the channels, and I fall on Evasion, and I see you, and I'm like, hey, I know this guy, And I don't know where you were. You were on a bike. I don't know which corner of the world, and you were going to beaches and restaurants and exploring hotels, and I'm like, fuck. Where did I go wrong? How did I choose the wrong field to go into, right? I mean, this guy's enjoying his life all over the world on TV and everything. And besides that, it was an amazing show. I mean, it was like this travel blog or travel vlog, and it was amazing. And I think I don't know if that kind of inspired you to do more of that kind of style of television, because recently, and it's funny because we were talking about this new project that you were working on, and I didn't know the details, and now it's out, it's on TV, and I haven't had yet the chance to look at it. But I mean, this is in El Salvador, right? Libertad, in your show. So did that kind of open the door for you to think that this is kind of what I want to do? Like this is this travel and this kind of lifestyle is something that I see myself in.
Well, the travel shows, I'll be very honest with you, George, they are not as much fun as they look.
Yeah, I would imagine there's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work, man. And it's a lot of work, very little sleep, sometimes for weeks.
Yeah.
And when the camera's on, you have to have the time of your life, because you're presenting like places and people that you hope that people are going to want to go visit and meet. Exactly. So your job is not to show that you're tired and that you're
exhausted.
You live in the truck with your director for 2 months, and that you can't take it anymore. But it is fun. I mean, it is fun. Those shows, it's really after, you come back, you wrap it up, and then you see the show on TV, and then you have a beer with your director and your producer, and you're like, oh, that was fun. It was fun. And then you remember all the good stuff. But when you're in it, it's tough, man. Yeah. Like it's a lot of work. But the El Salvador trip is something very, very different from the other shows that I've done, because it's based on a real-time story. Nothing is faked. And we don't show everything, because at one point, not everything is interesting, and some stuff is very, very personal. Yeah. But it's a true story, and it's almost happening in real time. I mean, what you see on TV happened a couple of months ago. So, and it's still going right now. So, to me, that was it was part of that process of just being more vulnerable and transparent. And I really I wanted to show something very real, like reality TV in its best form.
Right.
Because reality TV today, we associate it with like trash reality shows, but reality TV to me is something beautiful, and it has more to do with documentary than trash TV, right?
Right.
So I wanted to be honest, and I wanted to experience something, and to give full access to people. And I know a lot of people, I've received message, the reception is very, very good, but some people are like, not disappointed, but judgmental about the structure and the fact that
Like
you can tell that it's all it's work in progress. But that's the show.
Yeah.
The show is me. I did go to El Salvador for a year. I did the legwork, and then I take you on the trip at the point where I'm like, okay, that's it. I'm jumping in. Like, I'm starting the business. Of course, it's a little chaotic.
Yeah.
But I also wanted to show that opening a little business, even a small business on the beach, it's not easy. Because a lot of people are like, me, one day I'm going to open my cafe. I'm going to open this. I'm going to open that. And I've been telling that forever. And I was like, well, fuck it. I'll do it.
Yeah.
And then you realize it's not as easy as it sounds.
So what's the story behind this? You actually have a business down there. You started, you started like this.
Not yet.
Dream. Okay, but so this is this dream project, I guess, that you've always wanted to accomplish.
Yeah.
Can we know what it is, or do we have to wait for the?
Yeah, of course. What I've been wanting to, like, I've always wanted to have that, like a, how can I put this in English? People get it, like it's sports retreats, right?
Yeah.
Because when you say it in French, des retraites sportives, people, it's not a term that we use a lot, so it's like, it's weird. But sports retreats around martial arts and surfing, because martial arts is my thing. It's my passion. So I was like, wow, man, I could be surfing. I could be entertaining people, taking them to the volcano, to the jungle, and then we train, and then we go back we do a surf session. Because I can't take vacation. I can't go to the beach and just lay on the beach. It's impossible.
Yeah.
And then I realized there's a lot of people like me, and more in the last couple of years, sports retreats, like it's a form of active vacation, really, that you can discover a sport or practice a sport that you love, and then you're going to do all kinds of other things and be in an environment that's different, and to discover a country at the same time. And I was like, wow, this is the best idea. Like I really love the concept. So my girlfriend had a business in El Salvador for 4 years. I was trying to develop it in Costa Rica. So I went there for like a year. I spent like 3 months there. But then I realized it was too expensive, way too expensive. Costa Rica is super expensive, and it's complicated to buy land there as a foreigner.
Yeah.
And then I met her. I was just coming back from Costa Rica. I was a little disappointed because I realized I was not going to do my project there. Then I was trying to figure out where I could do it. I meet her, and then it was a sign, you know what I mean? And a couple of weeks later, I left for 6 months. And we left for almost 6 months. We went to El Salvador, Ecuador, and I followed her in her business. And I saw, because that's what they did. They did sports retreats, surf and yoga for women. Yeah. So I learned a lot from observing what they were doing, and this is it. So it's the same type of model that I want to do in El Salvador, and hopefully it's going to reopen very soon, and we're going to be able to build. It's a dojo, like it's a training platform that we're going to build on one of the lands that we bought there, and I'm partners with a guy that has a hotel there called El Dorado, and he's been there for 15 years. He's kind of become my partner. So people are going to be lodged there, because this is the other thing. I realized I left and I was, we're going to build a little hotel and stuff. Forget it. Yeah. Like, I don't have the money. Yeah. And it's a lot of money. Because you're saying, it's going to cost, man. It's going to cost. Yeah. So so we decided to joint ventures with him, and this is it. So I bought my piece of land so we can build the training center on, and people are going to be lodged. It's about 500 meters away.
Yeah.
People are going to be lodging at his hotel, and it's perfect. It's by the beach. It's amazing.
That's amazing. So is it functional already, or this is the process? Okay.
Now we're still designing the plans, all this stuff that we're going to start doing now, and hopefully in February, March, we're going to go and build.
If everything is fine, Jesus, man, this thing has.
Well, we're going to do a lot of that stuff ourselves because Oli, my partner, he's a builder.
Yeah.
I mean, this is also what he does. So that guy does everything. He's amazing. Like, I'm so jealous of this guy. Like it's like he knows so many things that I envy those. Like he can build stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm going back to what I was saying before about the modeling and all that crazy lifestyle. It's like I'm 43 years old and I feel I can't build anything.
Yeah.
And I'm jealous of that. I'm not jealous, envious.
Yeah.
And I decided that this is what I want to learn now. I want to learn how to build stuff.
Yeah.
I think it's amazing. I think it's amazing that someone can just repair a car.
Yeah.
Or I like that stuff now. Like this is the stuff that I'm really passionate about.
Yeah.
And I want to learn these things.
It's funny that you mentioned this because a couple of days ago, a spring on my garage door broke. I was opening the door and the thing just broke. So my natural reflex was just to call, the company, come and fix the thing.
Yeah.
And that's what happened, right? And it cost like hundreds of dollars. And I called a friend of mine, and actually he called me and he's like, so what's going on? I'm like, man, the thing broke. He goes, just go to Renault Depot, get some springs and replace it yourself. I'm like, what are you talking about, man? I don't know how to do that. Same boat.
Yeah, we all have a friend like that. That's like, no, that's easy, bro. You just take this off, you put it, and I'm like,
come over.
But then, yeah, exactly. But this is what I want to learn, man.
Yeah.
I want to learn that. I want to be that person.
Yeah,
I said, no, it's simple, man. Like you just unscrew the thing, you go get this part, you put it there, put a little.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, exactly. Just easy.
But I want to be this guy. I want to be this guy, and this is what I decided last year. Was like, fuck it.
Yeah,
I'm doing it. I almost went back to school.
For
to
learn how to build
menuiser. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
But it's a year and a half. Like I did the whole thing, man.
Yeah.
I did the whole process. And I was talking to this guy at because it's diplôme d'études professionnelles, DEP, right?
Yeah.
So, and I'm talking to this guy via email. He helped me a lot, and we're discussing. I'm like, so listen, I'm still working in media, so maybe sometimes I'm gonna have to take a couple of days off for shootings. And he's like, no, man, it's like. Well, you enlist in that program, it's 1.5 years, and that's it. Yeah. Like you don't take a week off to go shoot the movies. He's like, that's not how it works. I'm like, oh fuck. So at this point, like it's not, I don't have that luxury, so I decided to postpone it. But then I managed to, I developed that concept with Oli, and then hopefully we're gonna leave and maybe do season 2, and we're going to build, and I'm going to build with him. So I'm going to learn a lot.
It's also the best way to learn, right? Especially if you have like this professional just teaching you. Mm-hmm. There's nothing more that you can ask.
If you're not afraid to look stupid and to start from the bottom, I don't care, man.
Exactly.
Looking stupid is not something that I'm worried about.
Exactly. Tell me a little bit about your businesses over here. We were talking before we went on air how they took a hit there with COVID and everything. What have you been working on? I know that you're a partner in a couple of restaurants. Is there anything that you're working on over here?
Yeah, we have 2 restaurants. It's called Ha. We have one in Old Montreal. We have one on Plateau Montréal, which is the original location, and we have Now Bar, which is a cocktail bar in Old Montreal. At this point, my partners are developing all kinds of projects right now. That's what they do. With the whole situation, moving out of Montreal, my girlfriend being sick, I'll be honest, I don't know if I'm going to do anymore. I think it's enough for me. and I don't have that passion and fire anymore to just open new restaurants. And there was some discussions about new spots that my partners are opening. I had some opportunities, and I respectfully declined, not because they're doing amazing and they work so hard, and I think they're doing beautiful. They're realizing beautiful projects, but it's I guess it's the lifestyle again. It's that lifestyle that I'm not interested in. And to be honest, restaurants, it's not like it pays that much. People think, oh, you have restaurants that were rich. No, it's when you work, let's say you own a restaurant, you manage the restaurant, you work shifts, then it's good living.
Yeah.
But the margins are really, really small.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. Those guys work really, really hard. And the problem is, when we started, I would work super hard at the restaurant. Then I would leave for a month. Then I would leave for a week. Then I would do this because I had shootings. At one point, I was not reliable.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I accepted to be in the back seat for a while. And then eventually you realize that I'm not essential to the business.
Yeah.
I think it adds that I'm in the medias and we always talk about it and stuff. I think it helped, but the base of that business is the people that work there.
For sure.
Day after day. So then I realized that maybe I didn't have that time and energy anymore. So, and I don't want to be a burden in the business, like I don't want to be, like I want to be honest and say, this is what I can do for the business. And so maybe I have smaller percentage smaller shares in the businesses now, and allow someone else to to live the dream if this is what they want to do. Allow a younger person to get into that business and to really, if it's their dream, it could be fun, man. It could be a lot of fun.
So for now, the things that you're looking forward to the most is obviously things coming back to normal so that you can go and finish that project down there.
Yeah, I can't wait. But in the meantime, I'm in the process. Like, fall is a little more quiet for me. I'm enlisted in all kinds of courses, and I'm going to learn a lot of stuff.
Good, man.
Because having said all that, I still have that dream of opening a little cafe.
Somewhere on the beach?
No, around here.
Oh, okay.
Around here, yeah.
Like where you are now, not Montreal.
No, outside of Montreal.
Okay, yeah.
Because my girlfriend's she cooks a lot. That's her passion, and that's what she did in her business. She took care of the food and beverages aspect of the business. And so now she's working on her lunchbox company, and it's really nice what she's doing, and she's going to be launching somewhere in the fall. So I'm thinking maybe next year, we could open a little something. She would have bigger surface we could do a joint venture together.
Yeah.
So now I'm enlisted in a barista course that I'm going to be taking in September, because I met this guy in Montreal. He has an amazing place called Structure Coffee, and he travels around the world. And this is another project that I'm like, okay, there's something we're going to do with this. And we're really involved in developing a project together. But the first step would be to open, he's going to mentor me to open this little cafe here. So The first step, like you said, is to buy my machine, go do my courses, and really start doing like a killer cup of coffee at home.
Yeah,
because that's the secret, and it's very, very technical, and it's like, and it comes back to what we were saying. I want to be able to make something, a nice cup of coffee. It's not easy.
No.
Like a nice espresso that people are going to be like, oh my God, this is amazing.
Yeah,
but it's very technical, man.
Oh yeah, I know. Look, the building where we had our office downstairs, there was Espresso Mally, the cell machine.
Yeah, of course.
And we would go there all the time. I mean, we're in the same building. We knew everyone down there, and there was something, man. You taste the coffee that these guys make you, and you taste the coffee that night and day. It's night and day.
It's not the same beverage.
Not.
But that's the thing with coffee, is that it's very. And this is what Mathieu was explaining to me. He's like, man, coffee is super technical.
Yeah.
The machine, the adjustments, the temperature, this and that. And I'm like, okay, I like that. So I start with that, and then I'll build houses.
Exactly. Dude, I'm excited for you, man. Honestly, look, I've taken up a lot of your time already.
No, thank you, man.
It was a long time coming, and I'm so happy that you found some time to do this. I really, really appreciate it. I wish you a lot of luck. Obviously, I follow you, and I'll continue to follow you. And I wish all the very best to your girlfriend, man. I'm sure that things are gonna be okay.
Thanks, brother, and all the best to you and your family. And when everything reopens, we're not too far now, eh?
No. Look, there's no traffic now, so
we'll go for a bite.
Absolutely, man. I'll appreciate that.
All right, brother.
All right, buddy. Take care. It was nice seeing you.
Thanks, man.
Ciao.